Alright, Mortal Kombat 2. Was this movie any good? Did it live up to the hype? Was it better than the first one? I'll get into that in this review. So, after watching the movie, I can say that yes, it did. This was actually a pretty good movie. And to be honest with you, this movie kind of goes by really fast. But I think it's because of the heavy. Look, this movie is very, very action focused. There's a lot more fighting in this movie than any previous Mortal Kombat movie they've ever made. It's very heavy in the action here, and there's a lot of fight scenes. Now, about the fight scenes themselves, like it was very well choreographed. Like all the fight scenes were really good in this film. Like I enjoyed every single one of them, to be honest. It was really good. The martial arts techniques to their supernatural abilities. Like it looked really good. Like I really enjoyed the fighting here. And I actually do want to mention something about their supernatural abilities. I am so glad in this movie they got rid of that tattoo bullshit. Because that in the first movie made no sense. I don't even know why they added that. It's not even in the games. I don't know why they did that. It was kind of stupid. But I am so glad they got rid of that story point. Yeah, I'm so glad they did that. Also, with that being said, is that I can tell you after watching this movie, is that they did listen to the fans. Because every criticism they got for the first movie, they corrected themselves with this movie. They really did. And they nailed it with this movie as well. Because also one of the other criticism that they did get is that in the first movie, there's not enough combat because it wasn't about the tournament. Because it's like everything in the first movie was pre-tournament. So there were fighting scenes in it, but there wasn't enough fighting scenes. I think that was one of the criticisms that people were saying. Now going into this movie, because this movie is about the tournament, and yes, we get a lot of fighting here. I think I could even say about 70% of the movie is all fight scenes, which I actually did enjoy. And all the fight scenes, as I mentioned, are really, really good in this. And not to mention all the special effects that they use for their powers look really good. And another thing I do want to mention is that this movie goes by really, really quickly, and it's very fast paced as well because of all the action. And to be honest with you, but when I got to the end of the movie, when I saw the ending credits, I looked at the time, and yeah, it is like a 2 hour movie. So you're like, oh shit, this is 2 hours, but it actually felt like only like 45 minutes had passed. That's how quick and that's how engaged I was with this movie. Like it was very fast paced and very heavy action. Like this movie does not bore you at all. Now about the story itself, what they did here, there were a couple of surprises which I did not expect they were gonna do. But yeah, there were a few surprises. But overall, the story is not too bad. Actually, it was not too bad. Now I'm not gonna go into any spoilers because I don't want to spoil it for people, but when it comes to the ending, I did not expect that we're gonna go that way. Now, the way they were developing these characters throughout the story, it made perfect sense as to why they ended it the way they did. I'm not saying it's a bad ending, it's actually pretty good and it does make sense. So it is a pretty good ending in my opinion. But I know some people might feel a bit iffy there, but I do think it is a good ending, especially the way they were developing these characters. So I think the ending is pretty good. But I did not expect that they were gonna go that way is what I'm saying. Actually, if I could go back to the actresses now, I can't believe I actually forgot to talk about this, is the fatalities themselves. Now, the fatalities were actually pretty good. Like, they were bloody and they were gory. And yeah, I did like them. Now, some of the fatalities, the way they did them, they are from the games. So yeah, I did like that, because the fatalities should be like that, like in the games. So yeah, I did enjoy that, and I also there was a section. This is not going to be a spoiler or anything, but there was a part where one of the fight scenes that happened. I'm not going to tell you who it was in between, but there was like a fighting stage to where sparks would come out, like kind of in the games. If you play the games, you know what I'm talking about. But some combat arenas, how they just had spikes coming out and stuff like that. That was in the movie, so that was actually really, really nice to see. Another thing is that what I did actually like was though I did notice that in some action scenes when the characters would do a certain type of movement that were directly from the games. And like I'm talking about like purely like movement, whether they're trying to lift something, whether it's a combat move, whether it's something, like it's directly from the game, like or an action, if you know what I mean, whether it's a fighting pose, whether it's they're trying to lift something, whether they're trying to, you know what I see, like a little Easter egg here. So I did actually really enjoy that they actually did that. I do like that they did that. And also, what I do love about this movie is that all the characters look like the way they're supposed to be. They do look like they are from the games. You know what I mean? So they all do look like the way they're supposed to look like. So yeah, I did like that as well. And also, all the actors did a very good job embodying these characters. They really did. They did do a good job. And I gotta say, they did not take any shortcuts with any character here. Look, you know, sometimes in movies how they might make a character a bit dumber, or they might change a character's looks or something like that. There wasn't any of that in this movie. All the characters look like the way they were supposed to be, which is actually really, really good. And like I said, the actors did a very good job embodying these characters. And actually, I can even say is that the returning characters from the first movie actually they did a way better job in this movie than I did before. So that's really good. I did like that. So yeah, overall, I really did like this movie. I really did. And also, yes, I will be buying this on Blu-ray when it comes out. So yeah, that's how much I actually enjoyed this movie. Now, was this movie better than the one that came out in the 90s? Was this movie better? That's a little bit hard to say, right? Because they both movies do have a kind of like a different focus. But I like, even for me, like I don't know which one I like better, but I definitely do like this because more of the actions is because obviously, you know, there's better special effects now, you know, and all that stuff. So this movie does look a lot better than the one in the 90s. So, but in the one in the 90s, I think had a little bit of a better story. I think the one in the 90s, but they're both really good. They both hold up. I think they do both hold up almost at the same level, I would say, but this one had better action, obviously better CGI, and all the characters look better, you know, the sets look better because obviously, you know, it's the modern era, so we've got better technology now. So yeah, that's the thing. So anyway, obviously I do recommend this. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you need to go out and watch this movie because it is a good movie, and like I said, very fast paced, very action heavy, and I think you will love this movie if you're a Mortal Kombat fan. So yes, I do highly recommend you this movie. I really do. Also, if you guys even love martial art movies and you like them having supernatural powers, it even stands up quite good like that too. So I think if you're into movies like that, I think you will like this movie. Or even like if you like Dragon Ball, dude, I'll tell you something right now, which is kind of funny. This is more Dragon Ball than Dragon Ball Evolution ever was. You know what I mean? If you guys are into Dragon Ball, you'll know what I mean. But this movie was more Dragon Ball than what Dragon Ball Evolution ever could ever be. That's literally how I feel. Like it is that good. But like I said, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, if you like martial arts movies with, you know, supernatural, like them having supernatural powers, then yeah, you will love this movie because I think the movie is that good. It is very fast paced. Very good action scenes, very good fight scenes, and yeah, overall, it is a good movie. So yes, I do highly recommend you guys go out and watch this one. So anyway, that's enough from me. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. And yeah, thank you for watching.